Hey everyone, it's Romeo here, and today is December 3rd, 2014, and today is actually my 10-month on T anniversary. Yeah. And I just got my name change certificate in the mail like a few days ago, so I'm super excited about that, just changing up all my ID and everything, and like, it's pretty cool because like, I get to live like the new year as like a new dude, and yeah, with the new name and everything, and I'm super stoked because I've been wanting to interview our next guest right now. Her name's Rebecca Lam. Hi.
Hi.
And yeah, she is a vocal trainer, a vocal coach at
The Spencer Welch Vocal Studio.
and yeah, the cool thing about like how I know her is that I've actually trained with her pre-transition, so she knows me like
It's been a few years now, right?
yeah, I think
Like 3 or 4 maybe?
my gosh.
I know.
Yeah, something like that. But when I started, yeah, I had like my high voice and everything, but I've also continued to train with her during the transition. So we're gonna talk about that today. Like, and yeah, I'm really excited about it because my YouTube channel does focus mainly on like the changes in like the transition with the singing voice. Like, I couldn't really find many videos about that that have to do with like transitioning.
Yeah.
It's usually just like the physical features and emotional changes, but yeah, so you're like super important. How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for just over 7 years. So I'm going on to my 8th year of teaching now. And I used to be certified with speech level singing, and now I'm certified with the Institute for Vocal Advancement. And what that means is it's a vocal organization that educates its teachers every year and requires us to do several hours, a lot of hours of lessons and classes, and learn about the anatomy of the voice, and working with different types of singers.
That's pretty cool because that's kind of like you're like a voice doctor in a way, right?
No, I'm not a voice doctor. I'll make that very clear. No, but we do, like the organization I'm a part of. We do have many teachers who work with voice doctors, like ear, nose, and throat doctors.
Okay.
They're called ENTs.
Yeah.
And vocal scientists. And then I get to get information from them about the voice.
And it helps you with like training your students and
Exactly.
cool. And oh yeah, the vocal studio is in the beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Represent. So how did you get into vocal training?
Well, I started singing like, I don't know, I just started singing like really, really young. I don't even remember when, but like I remember dancing around on like my parents' coffee table and like holding like a fake like mic toy kind of thing and singing and making up my own songs. And in my first music class, my music teacher asked me to, she just said, you know, you have a really nice voice and you should start singing lessons. And I didn't until about 10 years later. When I was 15, I started singing lessons with Spencer Welch. And he's an amazing voice teacher, one of the best in the world. And I studied with him like obsessively for like many years, and I got obsessed with singing. And then about 5 years after that, I got certified and started teaching.
That's really cool. You started when you're 15?
I started as a student when I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you notice like much of a voice change for yourself, like as a female, doing voice lessons and like being around that age, like?
Yeah.
Because there's, I mean, like it's around puberty too for females. Like,
Yeah, when I was that age, I didn't notice it because the change in a woman's voice is so
Subtle, right?
gradual and
Yeah.
subtle. Yeah, it isn't like, you know,
Yeah,
when
like,
teenage
"Ugh."
boys go through puberty.
Yeah.
So I didn't notice it at that age, but now as I get older, I notice the changes in my voice. For sure, my voice is deepened, it's thickened.
I noticed that too, like, cause my mom, she used to, well, I think she still does watch like daytime soap operas, and she's been like really loyal to like certain shows, and so like I've watched them with her when I was a kid, and like
Right.
I noticed that some of the key like lead characters before, when they were about like, I guess on the show maybe about like 19, 20, voice was much softer and higher, and now that like certain characters like this one female, I guess she's like 40 or 50 now, her voice is much deeper.
Right.
So, but it is like more subtle, like over
Yeah,
the
it's
years
more
and-
subtle, and a lot of it is yes, like hormonal changes, like the actual like instrument is changing, it starts to thicken and stuff. And a lot of it is aging too. Like my skin looks different now than it did 10 years ago, you know? So the vocal folds like loosen a little bit, and so they produce pitches differently. Just as how our skin, you know, loosens a little bit.
Sag and everything. So what do you like love most about singing? Because you love to sing, right?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I had a kind of like difficult childhood, and singing was like my escape. It was the place where I could like feel my emotions freely, and get out of my head, you know? So that's absolutely like why I sing, and that's why I teach singing, because I really want to give people like an outlet to just be fully themselves without judgment. And it's interesting because singing is a thing where people judge a lot. You know, people judge you for singing, or you judge yourself and your own singing. And so teaching something that's like, that can have this judgmental vibe to it, but teaching it in a way where we're letting go of judgment, it's like really beautiful to me. And yeah, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, you really just can't judge people like on that. And music
Totally.
does tie people together. And
and I think it's about like what singing is about for you. A lot of people think about a lot, like everything in life, with this like results context, this context of results. Like, so, okay, you're going to learn to sing. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
You know, what's the point of it? And in that, like, in that context, there's a lot of room for judgment. Are you good? Are you bad? Are you right? Are you wrong?
Yeah.
Are you marketable? Are you good looking? Are you bad looking? Is that a thing? Bad looking? You know, my intention for singing has and always will be just for like, it's for freedom of self-expression and for connecting with people. And I've gone through different periods of my life where I'm like, oh, I want it to be this. I want to go on the radio. I want to do it. And like, I found like I was never happy there.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing now it's like, oh, because that's not what I want. Like, I don't want a result from it, you know? And it has always been about the process of singing, learning to sing and experiencing the voice, experiencing being connected to my body and free from my mind. And I like, now I feel really like at peace with like, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was born to do. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Aside from like singers, who else do you think like can benefit from vocal training?
Right. Actors, I teach a lot of actors. They benefit a lot from singing, because singing's harder than speaking. Like, it's more challenging. It requires more range, more movement and isolation of like the mouth, tongue, soft palate, all of that stuff. And so it really helps to improve people's awareness of their own voice and improve their speech. So I think that's really like definitely helpful for actors. I teach a lot of teachers, because teachers who have to teach like big classes or public speakers, often they'll need work with their voice. They'll need help with their voice. I know a lot of high school teachers, elementary school teachers, kindergarten teachers.
Oh yeah, like yell on top of all screaming kids.
Yeah, their voices are wrecked, you know. And it may not be like, you know, a lot of singing or a lot of songs, but I do a lot of vocal therapy as well.
Oh, so that like they're not just straining their voice when they have to yell at like the students and I do find that like vocal training does help with even confidence and helping to project the voice. Like I think it helped me in my acting career. I think so. Yeah.
I think I mean, I'm so biased, right? But I think everyone should learn to sing.
Yeah.
Because as kids, we all sang. You know, you ask a kid like, "Do you sing?" and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll sing you a song right now."
Yeah.
But as adults, we're like, "No, I don't sing. I'm not good at it." And it's like, I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, which is bullshit. Everyone deserves to sing or dance or whatever. But that being said, I feel the same way about dancing. I'm like, I'm horrible at dancing. I should not dance. So
I guess
it is what it is.
Yeah, you probably just don't picture yourself as one of those like choreographed kind of dancers. And no.
But who knows? Next YouTube video.
A few shots, she's just like on top of a table and just like,
oh boy.
So this next question, like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like FTM guys out there wondering,
What's
like,
FTM?
oh yeah, FTM stands for
Female
female
to
to
male?
male.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Transgender. And then MTF is male to female.
Okay, cool.
Um,
I don't know if you want to keep that in. What
No,
is
that's
that?
totally cool. Like, yeah, no. Anytime I do like an interview, sometimes like I'll even ask the person I'm interviewing. I'm like what the hell? What's that? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I learn something new all the time. You said you had experience training with like teenage boys going through puberty, right? So, because pretty much like that's what us trans guys are going through when we transition, especially within like the first few years.
Yeah.
Like you go through the physical and emotional puberty, like, but excelled, not like, yeah, at a rate that's faster than like if you were born male.
Right.
You have like all those years to
Right.
go through puberty. But you know, aside from the hair growth, the horniness, the hungriness, our voice is changing and like
Yeah.
rapidly. What has your experience been with teenage boys, like, and their voice?
Sure.
Training them?
With teenage boys, it depends. It depends how much singing they did pre-puberty. If they sang quite a lot pre-puberty, they would have been in the soprano range. So what that means is a girl's range. Pre-puberty, a boy's voice has the same range as a girl, and they break in the same places as girls do. And if they've experienced their head voice, which is what we call the high register of the voice, if they've sung a lot and experienced that a lot, like post-puberty, as they're moving through puberty and their voice is deepening, it's much easier for them to access their male head voice because they've experienced it before. Yeah. But if a teenage boy is singing for the first time and their voice is changing, that's much more difficult. Yeah. What I find challenging is that the voice is different. Like if I see a student every week, the voice is a little different every week when their voice is changing. Like with you, you know, your voice is different every week, like more so than someone who isn't transitioning. Yeah. You know, because my instrument isn't changing. It's the same. Yeah. My habits may be changing, you know, so we got to manage that. But the mechanism isn't really changing. For you, your habits are changing and your mechanism is changing. Yeah. So there's like just another few balls in the air for you to juggle, you know, and balance. So what I'm finding with teenage boys compared to you who's transitioning is that because you're mature and you're not to say that all teenage boys are immature, but you've lived longer, you know, you have more of a sense of like, I get that it takes time and practice, and I trust that it'll happen if I just keep dedicating myself to this. With teenage boys, they want it to happen like right away. You know, they want their new voices right away, so they can just be done with it. They want to like have an even blend from their lowest note to their highest note, and even know their range completely right away. And that's just not possible when your voice is changing like that. Because one week they'll have several notes, you know, down low, and then another week they won't have it, you know, or some notes up high, and then another week they won't have it. So there's so much of the unknown in that process.
You know, it's funny you say that because like I don't think it's just teenage boys. I think it's trans guys too. It's like, damn it, I just want my voice to be like settled in and everything.
Because then I know then I can at least like know where I am. Yeah. You know, it's hard to get to where you're going if you don't know where you are. And that's what's challenging.
Yeah.
So challenging. Yeah. But you've been so good with it. So
sweet, thanks. What advice do you have for like guys who are transitioning, yet like want to preserve their singing voice? Because to be honest with you, like before I even started transitioning, I did a lot of research online just to see like other guys like video blogs and just get like health information and things like that. But when it came to researching about like the transition affecting like a singing voice, for the most part, like I found a lot of negative like information. Like a lot of people were saying like I used to be able to sing like with a nice soprano voice and I sounded really good, but now that I'm a guy I just sound like a shitty tenor or like they like my voice isn't as great. And then like other people would say like I guess it's different for everyone how testosterone affects their vocals too, because some people do have like a forever puberty voice, like even after years of transitioning, like, and I think with others, like they kind of do like.
And from my research and education, that's what I've heard too. Some people don't transition like completely into like a tenor voice. They're kind of in between. Yeah. They sing in this like in between an alto, which is a low woman's voice, and a tenor, you know, or a mezzo and a tenor. Mezzo is a medium woman's voice. I hope these terms aren't too confusing. But yeah, you're kind of in between. You're because you were fully grown already when you started taking testosterone. Just the vocal folds, which is what we use to produce sound in the voice. What we use to produce sound. They may not thicken completely, you know. Yeah.
So yeah, what would you suggest? Like,
so yeah, what I would suggest to help is to take some voice lessons, work with someone who knows how to work with not just like style of a song, but like in the style of singing, but like also how to balance the chord structure, the vocal fold structure, and how to balance airflow. A lot of singing teachers teach breathing, which is fantastic and very important, but it's not all about how we breathe. It's also about how we use the breath. So you want to work with a voice teacher who knows how to do that. I recommend looking at the teachers who are certified with the Institute for Vocal Advancement, or if you put my contact information under this video, you can contact me and I can connect you with someone that can help you. With the voice teacher or on your own, I recommend singing in your head voice. You know, so if you're a female transitioning to male, I'm just guessing, and this could be totally wrong too, is you may want to shy away from like singing high again because you want to identify with this lower, more masculine voice. But the thing is, a balanced voice incorporates both the highs and the lows, just like a balanced life. Yeah, and we have to flow with both and balance both and blend both. And so don't avoid the high stuff because that's like really healing and can be really therapeutic for your voice. You have to dip down low for sure and discover this new low range you have, but also stretch up high so that you're not being too bogged down.
So like, let's say there are guys out there who think like, oh, I already transitioned, like I can't sing anymore. Like, would you say that anything's like still possible? Like, even if they were to, like let's say they never trained before. Yeah. Like, is there still hope for them to, I'm pretty sure like they can improve their voice somehow.
Yeah. I would say this is maybe a weird answer, but yes and no. Yeah. No, you can't sing anymore the way you used to sing. Yes, you can sing now in this new voice, but you have to do some work and discover what voice you have now, you know, and like balance where it's at now to get to like the next phase of your singing. But no, you can't go back to where you used to be because you're not there anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it really hit me like during the transition that like, yo, you won't be able to sing like the high notes like before, because like I mean, back in the day I would just. It was constantly like Mariah Carey or just like, you know, and now that like when I do listen to female songs, female vocalists, I get nostalgic and I kind of miss it. Like I don't regret like transitioning, but it kind of just takes me down a memory lane. Like I kind of feel I don't get teary eyed or anything, but I feel like I could. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I used to sing like that, and like and the feeling like it is kind of sad like. You know, you miss it, right? But at the same time, like, I'm really excited about the new voice. Right. Yeah, but yeah, so that's going to happen. Like, if you do think, like, if you are considering transitioning, like, definitely your voice will change. It'll deepen, so. Oh, yeah, one thing I wish I did was record even more songs before with, like, my female voice. Like, I did record quite a bit, like, of, like, videos, but I don't know, for some reason I wish I kind of did more, but I think it's all good though. Yeah. What are some like significant things that like changes that you've noticed in working with me like pre-transition compared to like now?
Right. The biggest thing is like I used to get on you about singing all your songs like super low.
Yeah.
You know, because when you were Diane, you were a soprano, like a pretty solid like classic soprano, like a high voiced female singer, and then you would sing all your songs like A flat 4 and below. You know, so that's like. It's like pretty low. You were only using like a third of your voice.
Yeah,
a quarter of your voice, you know?
And I was always wanting to sing like male songs too.
Yeah,
like,
tenor songs.
Yeah,
and then I was like, what are you doing? Like, take it up. You know, that's not your ideal range. And then as you've been going through this transition where you were like singing all the time and I was trying to move you away from, like, that's now your ideal range as you're now that you've gone through this process. And I'm like, oh, I totally get it now. Because
you want to be a dude.
That's why you're singing all these tenor songs, you know? And then last lesson, I think, or maybe a couple lessons ago, we were doing some like Stevie Wonder, some like Bruno Mars, and like that's kind of where your voice is probably going to sit, you know? In that high tenor range. And that was what you were drawn to in the first place. So that to me is so interesting. It's like your body has now caught up with your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, with your mind, and it's it's really cool.
Like it honestly, like even singing higher songs before like female songs, it like it did feel good to be able to do that. But yeah, there was always like that feeling of like when I'd have to perform.
Right.
I'm like performing and I'm just like, okay, I love doing this and everything, but I'm female. Like that's not what I feel inside. Like so it was always kind of like, I don't know, like something was just kind of incomplete, like that feeling. Like I mean I did appreciate like being a woman and like being able to sing like one and perform like one, but there was always that like desire to perform as a male. And yeah, like I got to do that this year, and like
which is amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah,
and courageous and just so inspiring.
It's I'm so stoked. Do you have any like social media links, like websites and?
Yeah, all of those things. I guess the easiest way to find me is at Rebecca Lam. That's RebeccaLam.ca. And I teach lessons in downtown Vancouver and also on Skype. So I teach internationally all around the world. If you want to get in touch with a voice teacher in your region, I know a ton of voice teachers in my organization who can help. So just send me an email or find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview. And I guess for the rest of you, sweet. Thanks for all the
having
info.
Me.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.